with Cameron Poitras and Jim Toth on 680 CJOB.
Hello. How are you?
Hello. I am well. How are you today?
I'm doing fine, Jim Toth. Today marks the start.
Your anniversary?
No, that was on the 22nd.
Oh, happy anniversary.
So missed it by that.
Sorry.
You know what these Maxwell Smart used to say? Missed it by that much.
I'll get you next year.
So you missed it.
Yeah, I have it down and
Close is only what's the old saying? Close only flies in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Yes, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
That's it. So I'm saying you're a few weeks off.
I had a card. I had it written down.
Yeah, well.
I have a costume I was going to wear for a singing.
Well, thank God that didn't happen.
Monogram.
Well, today marks the start at Hockey for All Center as the Jets prospects are on the ice. They're going to be off to Montreal.
Montreal! The Wheat City!
Saturday, Sunday.
No, that's Brandon. I apologize.
Yeah, the Wheat City. Montreal. The Wheat City.
I just love saying the Wheat City when people say other cities. Montreal, the Wheat City. Where? Nowhere. That's the wrong city. Never mind.
It's totally the wrong city. But we'll talk to Daniel Fink is going to be on the show. He'll join us right after 12:30. He's going to be going there and broadcasting the games, which will be streaming live on WinnipegJets.com. They're going to be playing the Habs. They're going to be playing the Sens. And I got a bone to pick with the Habs once again. Habs fans.
They are really bothering
They
me.
irk me. They irk me. You want to know why, Jim? Is because they're convinced that they're further along than they actually are. And they think that they're at the point where they just need one more piece. And you have Lane Hudson's dad complaining that after one great season, not taking anything away, one great season, he's irked his kid wasn't invited to the U.S. Olympic camp. Well, my kids are Canadian too. Maybe they'll go play for Canada. I'm annoyed by absolutely everything. I have a short fuse when it comes to the Montreal Canadiens.
There's no room for Lane Houston on the Canadian team either.
Oh, on the American team? Who are you going to take off the blue line for the United
American
States?
Team, sorry, yeah.
Who are you going to take off the blue line? You know, this Quinn Hughes guy, I don't really trust him.
Nobody.
Anyways.
They are bothering you, but there's that old Dane Cook's line that said that's how the Karen started. And I feel bad for all Karens. I know some Karens, and they're great ladies.
Yes.
But he's the one who started. So, you have that group of friends, and everybody always talks bad about the one friend. Let's call her Karen. And then it's like 5 of you are going to a concert, and they're like, oh, I hope Karen doesn't come. Oh, Karen's coming. And then she shows up, and you're all like, hi, Karen. Yeah. How are you? That's the Habs.
That's the Habs.
Everybody's like, oh, Montreal's got a great tradition. Montreal is the fan base. Blah, blah, blah.
That's exactly how I feel about them.
But when the Montreal's Canadians aren't around, we're like, oh, the Habs.
Well, and they're talking about Sidney Crosby going there. I'll get into the whole thing.
Lane Houston is the next Scott Niedermayer.
I'm had enough.
But when the season starts, like, hey Montreal, how are you?
They're doing great.
Canadien.
Oh yeah, another passing the torch, eh? Yay!
Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Ici.
Yeah, we'll get into that as well. Jets and Noon is brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. VIP take on the text line. Win a VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method. 204-780-6868. We'll announce the winner later in the program, which is coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio. Boston Pizza, where kids eat free all September long. Conditions apply. I actually was in Quebec not long ago. I was, yeah.
You loved it.
Yeah. And
said you might go back.
Yeah.
In a week or two.
Yeah, I might head back. But I remember there was a guy there. He was from Quebec City. I was talking to him. He said, I must want to start talking about the Jets, and he knows what I do. So Jets said, you want the Nordiques back? And he's like, why? We have the Habs. We don't need the Nordiques.
They don't want them.
And I said, yeah, I don't want. I looked at him. I said, I don't want to talk about the Habs. It says they swept the Jets in the playoffs a number of years ago. And I'll tell you this. And I said, I don't want to talk about it. I said, it still hurts. And he looked at me, and I said, I don't like the Habs. It looked like I just kicked him in the shins. Yeah. He didn't say anything, but he gave me stared daggers at me.
I bet.
So whatever. But we'll talk about the Habs more later in a bit.
By the way, the great ending to the Dane Cook line is and if you're the friend who goes, we never do that to a friend, you're Karen. So if Montreal goes, everybody loves us. We don't do that. Well, you're Montreal.
Yeah. See, at least the Leafs are self-deprecating because they know that they're the Leafs.
They get that.
No, they get it.
I've always liked the Leafs a little bit better than the Habs. And it's
this
just because
it's a recent thing.
Yeah, I grew up as a Flames fan.
They're the same to me.
The Stanley Cups with the Habs and all this, but everybody I grew up with mostly was a Montreal Canadian fan.
So this is something, and we got the Prospect Showdown coming up. The prospects are on the ice right now as we speak at Hockey for All Center. Training camp's coming up. Jim, this is one thing that I hope we at least have a better idea on throughout the preseason and through training camp. Who is going to step in for Adam Lowry on defensive zone faceoffs?
Great question.
Because Lowry took the glut of those last year. 26% of them, which is a heck of a lot.
Lowry would never do this, but if there was a player who might have said, can I just take one off? It could have been him.
Yeah.
That's how many
he took the majority of them. And not even close. Took way more than anybody else.
What's the guy got to do to take a defensive forward around here?
Yeah. So,
and as Lowry goes over the boards, go be better at him.
Morgan Barron, we know is going to be getting some reps at center. I think it's likely that we see him on that fourth line at center to start the year. He hasn't taken a lot of them. So is Morgan Barron going to be? We know that he worked a lot in the offseason about this. On this, are we going to see him take them? Vladislav Nemestikov is the other center that I think is going to start off in a top, in a center role in the top four lines. He didn't take many at all last year, and I was surprised to find this out. He did not take many defensive zone faceoffs. This is a major question for this team. To be honest, it might be understated how important this is, and it all depends on Jonathan Toews. As far as I'm concerned, if Jonathan Toews can return to somewhere around his near all-time numbers, up there with Rod Brendamore and Patrice Bergeron faceoff numbers, at 57.32% on the dot, which is unbelievable.
That is outstanding.
Then you can expect him to take those. If he is around, if he even drops to like 51, 52%, you're going to see him on the dot on the majority of these. But if he can't get to that number, this is going to be a real issue for the Jets. Now, Mark Scheifele is good on the faceoff at faceoffs, but he's not elite. And if they're going to be giving him all the defensive zone starts, that's going to hurt the Winnipeg Jets offense. So, but Toews is going to be playing with Cole Perfetti. Perfetti had the lowest number of defensive zone starts on the team last year.
Yeah, so that's going to change. Yeah. Like Perfetti is evolved. Perfetti had a great playoff.
Yeah.
And he's going to get more ice time. They're going to rely a bit more on that, I think, especially playing with Toews.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to change. Cam, I had this conversation last night. My son is trying out for a hockey team, and we were at the skate last night and just talking to some of the other parents. Again, to our conversation yesterday about how big of a story Toews is.
Yeah.
The talk at these things, right? It's Toews. What do you think Toews will do? How good do you think he'll be? It's great to have him here, blah, blah, blah. But I was having a conversation with one of the other dads, and I was saying, what I don't think enough people are talking about, so I'm glad we're talking about this today, is Jonathan Toews. We're all talking about points, production, top six. Is he going to be on the power play? Is he not?
Correct.
Nobody's talking about Jonathan Toews could evolve his career into, because he already was one before he had to leave for 2 seasons, one of the best defensive centers on the planet. They could be adding at minimal here another Adam Lowry, another 35 to 40 point center who is top 3 defending centers and face-off people.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can do that on a team that's already won 2 straight Jennings trophies, it's just going to make you better, right? Mm-hmm. I understand people might be listening to the radio right now and go, what about the offense? I'm with you. Like, offense has to come. But if he can put up 40 points, and I know Lowry hasn't done that, but he's 35 points, 30 a year. If he comes in and becomes another Adam Lowry in the face-off circle and defensively, like come playoff time, if you don't have to rely on Adam Lowry to go up against the McKinnons and the McDavids and the Rupe Hintzes and those lines, and you can have another one out there like that.
That's huge.
But he might evolve his career that way, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is what I am now at 37, and because he already was that. So I just think that nobody's talking about that enough, and it just dawned on me as parents are having this conversation, is that you could be adding another face-off defensive-minded Adam Lowry to this team.
To a team that won what award last year?
Well, that's what I mean,
Jennings.
right? But mostly come playoff time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whether it's the 5 games against Colorado or whether it was 3 of the 4 games against St. Louis, there wasn't enough shutdown, right? Like, when the snowball started rolling against them, it kept going. If you could add somebody else that you're not relying so much on Lowry for. And so to the face-off, I think it's Jonathan Toews who's going to take over that while Lowry's out. And when Lowry gets back, it's another option. So Lowry's not taking as many.
Let's take a break. Let's come back. On the other side, NHL Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly says a decision is coming soon on the status of the 5 former Hockey Canada players acquitted in that sexual assault case in London. We'll get this information on the record when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Jets at noon. Cam Poitras, Jim Toth.
CJOB.
Call the Boston Pizza Jets at noon hotline, open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Boston Pizza, kids eat free all September long on Boston Pizza, dine and only. See store for details. I still need a number 1 caller for that $50 gift card to Boston Pizza on Friday. Call 204-780-6800, blow my mind, and you'll get a $50 gift card to Boston Pizza with the best Jets take heading into training camp. Real quick here, Jim. NHL Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly says a decision is coming soon on the status of 5 former Hockey Canada players acquitted in a high-profile sexual assault case. Michael McLeod, Carter Hart, Alex Formenton, Dylan Dubé, and Callan Foote were all acquitted on July 24th in London, Ontario. The Crown has confirmed it will not appeal.
You can't legally keep players that haven't been convicted of something from playing.
From earning what they potentially
now,
could.
I think you could suspend them for being involved in an incident that was, what's the wording? Disrespectful or discouraging or to the image of the league. You can do that. I think they'll be allowed to play again. Now, whether they do or not is another situation, but I don't see a way where the NHL can. They might go for 3 months once you're reinstated, you can't play, or for 30 games or whatever, or a year. But I do think they're going to be allowed to play again. Whether they do or not is different.
We'll be right back. Jets at noon is brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. VIP take on the text line to win a VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method. 204-780-6868. We'll announce the winner later in the program, which is coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio. Boston Pizza, where kids eat free all September long.
All September. It's September right now.
The list of players that are heading off to Montreal, Quebec.
Savez-vous nager? Oui, à la piscine.
Les Roues, Les Blancs,
I was
Les
in
Bleus.
French immersion until the 6th grade.
Colby Barlow, Braden Yeager, Dom DiVincentis, Elias Solomonson, Kevin He, Jacob Julian, Kieran Walton, and Nikita Chibrikov, among many others, were practicing today at Hockey for All Centers. They prepare to travel to the Bell Center for the 2025 Prospect Showdown. The Jets will play Montreal on Saturday the 13th. And the next day, on Sunday, the following day, Ottawa. Both those games are going to be at 6 o'clock. Fans can stream the games live on WinnipegJets.com. And the guy who's going to be calling those games is on the show right now, Daniel Fink, manager of hockey comms, as well as broadcaster for the Manitoba Moose. Hey, Daniel, how are you doing?
I'm doing just swell. There's players on the ice. The rinks are full, and we're just about ready to go here, gentlemen.
That's exciting.
That is exciting.
This is the first little whiff of training camp. It's the first smell. You know what I mean?
An amuse-bouche, if you will.
Yes, perfect. That is perfect, Daniel. The amuse-bouche.
Well done. The most unbilingual program on the radio right now.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously a change in scenery this year. The move from Penticton to Montreal. Do you have any insight why this was changed, or this is just because I think I read somewhere that the Canucks had an issue with teams committing this year to Penticton. I mean, I don't think there's too much there, but certainly a change in scenery for the prospects.
They just point me in the direction, and that's where I go, gentlemen. No insight here for the change in scenery, but it could be a bit of an interesting one. I mean, when you think about Penticton, it's a pretty laid back atmosphere. Been there a few times. It's a beautiful location. It's a great rink and stuff like that. It's pretty laid back. Well, now you're sending everybody into the pressure cooker that is Bell Center in Montreal. Looking at the tickets, there's nothing available. Like this weekend, it's going to be quite the atmosphere there at Bell Center. It's Ivan Demidov weekend after all, so. It's going to be a bit of a different environment, and that could actually be really good for some of these young guys who haven't been in that kind of an environment before.
No, that's such a great point, Daniel, because I think it's tough to get to Penticton for Jets fans, right? And there'll be much more that are going to make the trek to Montreal, because it was like, I don't think there's any connecting flights to Kelowna. You got to go to Calgary, then to Kelowna, then you have to get in a car, you got to drive to Penticton. So hopefully there'll be more Jets fans and more people to sort of try and mute some of those loud Habs fans. I don't know if they'll have any success there. What level of evaluation do you take away from this weekend?
I think a lot of it is about more. It's more beneficial to the players, right? It's an opportunity for them to kind of get their feet wet. It's a lot like development camp, right? Like get to know each other a little bit on the ice, understand some of the systems that are being put in place. Development camp, it's all about kind of going through drills, things like that. They're going to learn a bit more systems wise this week, things like that, and that's really where a lot of the value is. Of course, you have some players that have a little bit more pro experience or are looking to make that pro turn, so it's an opportunity for them to kind of ramp up into Jets training camp, things like that. Get some reps in there. A guy like Nikita Chibrikov coming off of a season-ending injury. This is a great opportunity for him to get some touches and play with some intensity before Jets camp gets going. So there's a lot of different things going on here, right? So there's few players that are just getting that first taste, and what a taste it's going to be at Bell Center. And you have others that are trying to ramp up, get ready for that pro camp, get ready to try and make a push to crack the Jets roster or the Moose roster, what have you. So there's a lot of different things going on throughout this weekend. It's only 2 games. It's only a few practices, but it is a valuable time for these players to kind of get into that mindset that they need to have going into camp.
What do you expect from Chibrikov and the injury he had and getting back on the ice and healthy?
Yeah, it's always tough to know, right? And obviously Nikita is such a great competitor. He's got that drive. That's one of his biggest talents, and that's not going to change one iota. So looking forward to seeing him get up back on the ice, mixing it up out there, doing what he does so well. And again, I don't think he can expect too much from himself, right? He's going to want to be at 100% right away, but he is coming off of a long absence here. So hopefully he's able to get back up to full pace as soon as he can, but he'll have the time here this week to get into these skates, to play in those games, and then ramp up throughout Jets training camp. So again, there's just so much value for him to be able to really hit the ground running coming out of this camp.
You know what I'm looking for? I'm going to look for some matchups, because these guys are going to be, a lot of these guys are going to start their season with the Manitoba Moose. And I think that this is like a great opportunity to sort of build some early chemistry, because, you know, we're going to be seeing Braden Yeager, Colby Barlow, Jacob Julian. I mean, they're going to spend a lot of time together.
Yeah, and we'll see how all of that shakes out. Obviously, the players and coaching staffs will, between themselves, between their performance and the coaches' decisions and management's decisions, decide where everybody winds up. But it's certainly that opportunity to get those touches with those players, get those reps. We've gone over this many times, going back to development camps and the rookie tournaments, things like that. This is where the players get to know each other, not just off the ice, but their tendencies on the ice. So like you're saying, this is a great opportunity. Some of these players, by the time they make their way to the Winnipeg Jets, have been playing with each other for 5 years as much, whether it starts in rookie tournament and progresses through the Moose, things like that. So it's certainly a good opportunity for kind of all these reasons that we're going through and breaking down here. It's 2 games, but they're a valuable 2 games.
Daniel, what do you expect this year from the Moose? And I say it in the line that you helped us when we were at Prospects Camp to get some players on. Colby Barlow is one of them. There's a lot of prospects turning pro this year. There's a lot of prospects making that step like Barlow. What do you expect from the Moose this year, and just the fact that, you know, some of the draft picks are going to make that step?
Yeah, I think as much as there's some of those young players getting set to, or at least eligible to play in the American Hockey League this season with guys like
eligible,
Barlow and
yeah,
Yeager, and
sorry to cut you off. I should have said eligible. You're right.
You know me. I'm always leaving all options open.
Yeah, no, and I don't want to mislead anybody, but there are a lot of prospects that could potentially turn pro and play in the A this year.
Yeah, you've got the Barlow, Julian, those guys up front that are all eligible to turn pro this season in the AHL or outside of the NHL, as it may be. So you have those guys coming in, but you also have kind of a possibly revamped group, at least up front. Defense is going to be somewhat similar. Obviously, some changes there, but as there always are in the AHL. But when you look at that forward group, there's a lot of experience coming in, possibly. Again, it's so tough the week before camp really gets going to know exactly what the AHL team's going to look like. But with all the depth that the Jets have, you're going to have some experience to insulate those young players with. So it's going to be a bit of a different group this season. But when you have guys of the ilk that the Jets have signed or are already in the organization, I think you'll see a deeper forward group that might be able to be a little bit more impactful or considerably more impactful offensively. And that's really where this team, the Moose, struggled last season, was scoring goals. So adding a little bit more finish could certainly go a long way to helping them be a threat in the Central Division.
Daniel Fink, manager of Hockey Comms, broadcaster for the Manitoba Moose. He's going to be broadcasting the 2025 Prospect Showdown at the Bell Center. The Jets will play the Habs on Saturday the 13th, Ottawa the following day, both those games at 6 o'clock, streaming live on WinnipegJets.com. Daniel, thanks so much for your time. Take care, okay?
Talk to you guys soon.
And safe travels.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. Enjoy the games.
204-780-6868, 204-780-6868. Miss your chance to get your thoughts on the show today. Call the Boston Pizza Jets at noon hotline. Open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Boston Pizza. Kids eat free all September long at Boston Pizza. Dine in only. See store for details. The number one caller, like I said, I haven't had anyone blow my mind yet, and I really want to give away this $50 gift card to somebody that just comes in with a fantastic take. Send me your best Jets take heading into training camp, 204-780-6800. You'll hear your call on the show and be awarded a $50 gift card on Friday to Boston Pizza.
BP.
Jim, we got this text message from this texter says Caprilla, Minnesota turned down $16 million AAV for 8 years. Wow. Yeah. Frank Cervelli reporting this. Sources say Minnesota Wild superstar Kirill Kaprizov's camp turned down an extension offer believed to be 8 years, $128 million in a meeting on Tuesday in Minnesota that would have made him the highest paid player in NHL history in both AAV and total dollars. Kirill Kaprizov has to get paid. And he will get paid by the Minnesota Wild. And if this is a 5-year deal or a 6-year deal, I think you might see the AAV come down a bit. But, Jim, I don't believe by much. Kirill Kaprizov has all the cards in this conversation. The Wild need him a heck of a lot more than Kirill Kaprizov needs the Minnesota Wild. He gives that organization legitimacy moving forward. You heard it from Craig Leopold, the owner, who basically has said many times, and I'm misquoting him here, that they will move heaven and earth to make sure that money will not be a concern. And Kaprizov is going to get paid. He's going to get paid, and he's going to get paid by the Minnesota Wild. And he, in my mind, is going to essentially dictate the terms, about 90% of the terms.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised at this, but then I think that, he signed that 5-year deal last time. $16 million AAV.
And he held out for that.
$128 million. I don't know this, but my impression would be he would take the $16 million. I just think it's the term. What world are we living in, right? Nick Ehlers could have got 8 years here. Nick Ehlers could have got 7 years somewhere else. Nick Ehlers took 6. How many players took 6 years on their deals as opposed to 7? Or now maybe that's not being offered. Maybe GMs are the ones going, I don't want to commit longer than 6. I don't know. And this is changing in the CBA, right? You won't be able to do 8-year deals anymore. But it's fascinating to me. I think the 16 mil AAV is okay with him, or I would assume it is. I think it's.
Can you imagine if it wasn't?
I think it's the term. I
totally agree.
I think he's I'll take the 16 million over another 5-year deal.
So he's 28. If he wants a 5-year deal, then he enters free agency again at 33. Versus if he takes an 8-year deal, this is he'll be 36.
I wonder how much, Cam, the Corey Perrys, the Jamie Benns, the guys at the end of the road who just pick and choose contending teams continue their career, right? We're not too far gone from players like Corey Perry because they made $6 million not willing to take 3 or 4 and just retiring. Wanting 3 or 4 and not taking $1 million and retiring. We're in a different era where these guys don't need the money. They don't. Like, we talked about this with Blake Wheeler. He could play for league minimum again if a team wanted him because he doesn't need the money. But back in the day, like 10, 12 years, 15 years ago, if you made $6 million, it would be embarrassing to play for $775 or $1 million. But now it's like these guys are, like, is Corey Perry not living the dream?
Well, and they take care of themselves. So, like, I mean,
Montreal,
like just
Tampa Bay, Edmonton, and he's gone to the Stanley Cup final at least once with every one of those teams and twice with 2 of them.
And he's got a contract again next year with LA. But the thing is, Jim, they take care of themselves. So, like, I mean, just like where medicine and science has got, they don't have to. They won't be the same players they were when they were 30. That's obvious. But are they going to be effective still at 40 if they make sure they eat right and keep their bodies right? Absolutely, they can. But
is Kirill Kaprizov, heaven forbid a career-ending injury, is he not going? I'd like to have. It's not saying he wants to leave.
No,
it's saying I want to have my options in 5 or 6 years.
Yeah,
what is Kyle Connor going to get? Is Kyle Connor going to sign 8 years? I don't think so.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
I don't think he's going to sign 7. It'll be 6 to 7 years.
See, Caprizov can cash in again on a 5-year deal when he's 33. That's a big difference than when you're 36.
And that's what I'm saying about Kyle Connor. He might say, I want to win here. I love it here, blah, blah, blah. But to commit past 5 or 6 years, you don't know where this team will be in 5 or 6 years. The Stanley Cup window for most teams is 2 to 3 years. And then you're in and around it and still a playoff team, but how good are you with what other teams are doing? I think players at 33, 34, because they can play longer now for less, just want that option.
Well, and honestly, why would Kyle Connor sign he would go 4 or 5 years? Because that's when Mark Scheifele and Gabriel Velarde's contracts come up.
If Kyle Connor goes, I'll do 5 years at $10 million, are you the Jets saying no? It has to be 7? No, you're going to keep Kyle Connor.
Yeah.
Is that what Kaprizov is doing? I know you're going to give me $16 million a year. I'll decide when it ends.
Minnesota has no leg to stand on in this negotiation, as far as I'm concerned.
They're not going to say problem, no. Man. It's got to be. It's got to be at least 7 years, or we're not doing this.
If he says,
then don't do it.
He said 16 at 5 years, they'll do it. They have to.
This is my point 2 or 3 years ago when Gaudreau and Pierre-Luc Dubois and all those guys. It's a different era when the guys know the money's going to be there. What's now the challenge is the term and where, because the money's going to be there.
Let's take a break. Let's come back on the other side. Crosby to the Habs.
You just
stop.
You're upset.
I'm telling you, just stop.
You're upset.
I can't take it.
They're really, really
my blood pressure has gone up.
This summer was the agitation of Cam by the Montreal Canadiens.
Why, oh Lord, have you given me this
Demidov mania?
Why have you given me this cross to bear with my disdain for the Montreal Canadiens?
Well, the phone's ringing. It's Montreal. Do you want to get it? Could be Daniel Fink again.
Call him up. I'll call him back. And
would you take a call from the Montreal Canadiens right now?
Yes, I would.
If they called, would you answer it, or would you be like, I'm not talking to them anymore?
How many Quebecois swear words do you know?
Oh.
I know a couple. We'll be right back.
Toth on 680 CJOB.
Welcome back, and congratulations to our VIP texter winning the VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method, 204-780-6868. The Rob, self-proclaimed The Rob.
The Rob?
Says, what is plan B if Toews just can't play anymore? Well, I don't think there is no plan B. If Toews can't play, then the Winnipeg Jets are going to have to go out and do something about it.
I don't think this would be happening if there was a chance he couldn't play anymore.
Yeah.
I just solidly believe that. I think it's more of a what level can he play at, but I just don't think that, I don't think this is a can he play or can he not. I think this is how well can he play.
We'll just switch gears here for just our last minute and a half here. And I want people to know this is why I find the Habs to be the most annoying team in the NHL. It's because of this kind of stuff. And this is constantly out there. Here's the story. Crosby on speculation linking him to the Canadiens. Crosby says he understands why trade rumors swirl around him, with the Pittsburgh Penguins having missed the playoffs each of the past 3 seasons. Going into another campaign with little hope of contending the 28-year-old Stanley Cup champ, and sort of all the buzz going on about him going to Montreal, and realizes that just comes with losing hockey. The latest questions are coming during the media tour in Las Vegas. Connor Hellebuck is representing the Jets there. And Crosby's dealt with all the stuff. He deals with it very well. But Crosby's agent, Pat Brisson, told Pierre LeBrun of The Athletic and TSN that it's, quote, a possibility, always a possibility, that he could move in the future if this Penguins continue to struggle. And that's where all this branches in. And because Crosby's favorite team growing up was the Habs, he's linked to the Habs.
Well, I believe his agent also said it's kind of the Tom Brady thing. They know that there's limited time left on this great career, and he'd like to win another championship. And anytime you're not in the playoffs, you kind of look at this. But I would argue, I get like Sidney Crosby, but he's not doing the Corey Perry. Well, if nobody else wants me, I'll go to the team that like. They're not on the cusp of winning a cup. I know they made the playoffs last year, but I think if he's going to go, he's going to go to win a cup.
He's not going to go to Montreal. No, absolutely not.
Would it shock you if he did?
I think, no, it would shock me. It would. I think he's going to stay with the Penguins. I don't think he's going anywhere. That's my perspective. Thank you very much, Jerry Fortier, for producing this show. Jim Toews to take all the way up to 2 o'clock. That's it for me. Back safe, Dynamo. See you.